Okay, this is a market recap for the 6th of the 6th, 2018. Okay, so where we left it off the other day was somewhere around there. So we had this trade that entered here on the screen candle, came down, zigzagged around, and made this little zigzag, and we exited on the break of this little up movement here. So it came up, then down, and then broke that previous high by 10 pips. So we got out of it. So that was that trade. And through this up movement, we didn't take anything because the 4-hour chart, which was that movement there, was still in a sell. So we didn't want to trade against the 4-hour chart. So the 4-hour came up, down, down, and then up. So this green line was 10 pips above the previous high. This whole movement down here never made a high. So it was just came down, made this low, then this high, then it zigzagged between the two, between this low and between this high. So if it came down and broke this low, then this would have been where we move our reversal signal to, which would have allowed us to start taking buy trades. But because we never got that, this was just nothing. We just ignore it. And yeah, so then it came up. In this time, it came up, and on the 1-hour chart, we got a little sell signal, which happened, price came up, down, up, down, up, down, up, with this tiny little signal, which was very small and would have been very understandable if you'd missed it, but it came down. So it went sideways, sideways down, then a tiny little up candle, then down. So that little movement there, that was our low, and the high broke the previous high. So 10 pips below that, which was there, that's around there, 9.9, around there. That's where we got into the trade, and the stop was 10 pips above. So, over 10 pips on the high, which was there. So there was a loss of about, enter was about there, and exit was somewhere around there. So that was a small losing trade. And then the price came up, and then it was, over this time was the weekend, and also it was a long weekend over here. So I actually had Monday away from the computer, which meant I didn't take any other trades on Monday. Okay, so yeah, the price, so there's a small losing trade there. I wasn't really watching this part, which was this section here. Then the price came up and hit this, the price broke through the high, which gave us a buy on the 4-hour chart. So now, by that I mean we're not actually taking a trade, but it means we're now looking for buy signals on the 4-hour chart rather than sell signals. And if the price comes down and touches this red line, that's where we would start looking for sell signals instead of buy signals. So while it's in this zone, we're looking for buyers. And the reason this red line is where the price needs to come down to, the way I worked that out, was the price came up and broke. So the previous low was this one, and that's it. As soon as the price breaks higher, then actually we have to go back here to work out why that is. But basically the price came down, up, down. As the price broke this low, then that's the most recent high. and 10 pips above that is where our reversal goes. Then the price comes down, comes up, and never breaks this low. Because it never breaks it, we are just waiting for the price to either break it or break the previous high. And in that time, it just zigzagged from all the way from here back to here. All of that was just zigzag between these two zones. Then it finally hit it, and as soon as it hits it, then the previous low is our reversal. So that's our previous low, and we're just currently wiggling between that. So as you can see, the market's in a very consolidated movement at the moment. This whole period here, there has been no real up or down push. Like there's little pushes up and down, but it's very tightly controlled. So we call that consolidation. So here, all this down push, up push, down push, even between here and here, you could say that's pretty tight consolidation. That area there, that's all just solid consolidation. Then it breaks out and gives us another push. And then, so we're currently in another period of consolidation here. So that's the 4 hour. So now that we're in a buy, we're looking for buys, we have this. So this is what the market's been, this is what that same consolidation period on the 4 hour, this is what it looks like on the 1 hour. So we've got a lot of consolidation on the 1 hour. All of that is just sideways, not really going anywhere. So it's not ideal trading conditions because our trading strategy is a trend continuation strategy, but we also don't have any rules to say don't trade during consolidation. So I have been thinking about that, but any rule I think about, when I apply it to backtesting, it tends to just reduce profits, not increase them. So it might just be better if we just take trades through this, make small losses, but then when it does break out, we'll be in a trade to take a nice big profit. So I jumped into a trade yesterday because over this period was Monday, and yesterday was Tuesday, the 5th. So we got a buy signal yesterday because we're looking for a buy signal and the price comes down, then up, sideways, sideways, sideways. There's our first down candle, which is this one here. Okay, so the price actually comes to, that's the highest peak, and the price comes down to there, then there, then there. So this is our little zigzag down, and then the price comes up and breaks that high. Down, down, come to break that high. And that was our buy signal. And so 10 pips above that, which was entry there, and exit 10 pips below that low, which was about there. So a small loss there as well. 31 pips, 31.9 pips is the loss. And then the price came down. So from here it just went up, then down, no up candles, and then a big up push, then down, and it hasn't given us our up then down yet, so we're still in the up move. So that is that. 10 pips above that. This point here is actually the entry for the next trade. Hitting this green line is 10 pips above the previous high. So that is actually our entry. So right now we can enter a trade because the 4 hour is still in a buy. The 1 hour is has broken the previous high, and this actually happened while I was sleeping, and it's still early in the morning now, but now we can actually get in at a better price than we could have. So what we'll do right now is enter a trade. So we'll just get in at market. So we're going to buy, we're going to put a stop loss. We'll just say at 50 pips, and then we'll move it. Okay, so we've just entered the trade. So this here, this little marker, tells us that we've gone long, which is another name for buy. It's just stupid share market terminology. So we've gone long, and we're currently at minus 1.2 pips profit. So we're currently in a negative because there's an entry fee, and that tells us, that calculates our entry fee and puts the point where we start making money just above that. So so it factors in our costs of trading, basically. So when we exit a trade, it's all factored in there. Now this is our stop loss, and at the moment it's just in no man's land. It's not calculated correctly. So the previous low, actually, until we get a high and then a break of that high, our stop loss is all the way down here. So 10 pips below the previous low, which was, so it's 16438, so it'll be 16436. 164. Let me just get rid of that. Oh, I typed that in wrong. Oh no, that's correct. So 10 pips below there. It looked like the stop loss went a long way away. Yeah, so that's about right. So 10 pips below the previous low. If the price comes up and breaks this high, then we can move our stop loss to 10 pips below the previous low, which would be here. And we can move our stop loss to there. So around there will be where the stop loss moves to if the price comes up. If the price just wiggles around, then we just leave it. So at the moment we've got a very big risk on the trade, because if the price just comes straight down against us, we're actually risking about 77 pips. But that is what the trading strategy tells us to do, so that's what we're doing. And that's it. So that's the market recap.